Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 1,000 pounds, sisters spoilers. Did Chris Combs get weight loss surgery? Tonight's episode of 1,000 pounds, sisters leaves viewers with one big question. Did Chris Combs get his weight loss surgery? Fortunately, spoilers from a teaser at the end of the episode for next week's episode sheds some light on this question. Unfortunately, the teaser does not look promising in regards to Chris getting the green light for his surgery. Was he unable to drop under 400 pounds to get approved for his surgery? Here's what we know. 1,000 pounds, sisters spoilers. Things don't look good for Chris Combs. Spoilers for next week's episode of 1,000 pounds. Sisters do not look good for Chris Combs. The teaser features the doctor discussing something that he recognizes Chris probably doesn't want to hear. He, however, reminds Chris he is only looking out for his best interest as his doctor. The teaser also features Chris Combs being flabbergasted. He seems confused and disappointed. He has no idea how to explain what has happened. Did he gain weight? Did he not get under 400 pounds? Was he rejected for the surgery? Reality time gap. Do we know the truth? Thanks to the time gap between when a reality TV series on TLC is filmed and where the people are with their lives, it is sometimes easy to find spoilers about things that have already happened in their lives. Unsurprisingly, fans have done a lot of digging to determine if Chris Combs has had his weight loss surgery. In fact, the conversation came up recently on Reddit. According to fan chatter, Chris Combs slipped up in a cameo conversation with a fan. He admitted he had the surgery. Likewise, fans note Chris appears to have lost a lot of weight in his recent photos on social media. So, fans assume all of the weight loss means he's had the surgery. 1,000 pounds. Sisters fans speculate some other health issues may have pushed back Chris Combs' surgery. But everyone believes he has had his surgery in the time since this episode was produced. Do you think Chris Combs gets approved for weight loss surgery during next week's episode of the series? Or, do you think the spoilers point in the direction of a denial? Was he unable to lose the weight the doctor required? Share your thoughts with us in the comments down below. And keep coming back for the latest on 1,000 pounds, sisters. Chris Combs had always been the steady one. The dependable brother. The one who cracked jokes even on the hardest days. The one who managed to stay grounded while the rest of the family bounced from crisis to crisis. But even Chris had moments where the weight on his shoulders felt heavier than the weight on his body. It was early morning, the sun barely a pink smudge over rural Kentucky, when Chris stepped out onto his porch and took a deep breath. The cold air burned his lungs, making him cough, but it also woke something inside him, an urgency, a restlessness he could no longer ignore. He reached down, patting the side of his stomach, feeling the familiar heaviness, the reminder of every morning he woke up tired, every chore that left him breathless. He wanted better, not just for himself but for his kids, for Brittany, for everyone who still believed he had more to give. Today was the day he'd finally talk to the doctor. Today was the day he'd face the question head-on. Was he ready for weight loss surgery? A family lost in their own storms. The house was quiet, an eerie sort of quiet. Normally, he would have heard Brittany humming as she fixed coffee, or the kids arguing over cereal. But everyone was still asleep. Chris didn't wake them. This was something he needed to handle alone. He thought of Tammy and Amy. Lord knew they had been through some storms. Tammy had survived near-death battles more than once, and Amy had juggled motherhood, relapse scares, and heartbreak. Chris had been their protector, their cheerleader, their truth-teller when they needed it. But somewhere along the way, he'd stopped cheering for himself. Not today, he muttered as he grabbed his car keys. Today's about me. The drive to the clinic. The clinic was 40 minutes away, a long stretch of Kentucky backroads where the radio cut in and out. As he drove, he replayed the last year in his mind, the way his weight had slowly crept back, the way stress ate at him, literally and figuratively. He'd tried diets. He'd tried walking. He'd tried cutting back on everything that brought him comfort. But the weight clung stubbornly, a reminder of every setback and every sacrifice that wasn't enough. A part of him felt guilty. He knew viewers saw him as the one who had it together, the one who was supposed to inspire Tammy and Amy. The sensible sibling, the voice of reason. He wasn't supposed to struggle. But he did. Quietly. And today he was finally admitting it. Inside the doctor's office. "Chris," the nurse called, smiling warmly. "Dr. Forrester will see you now." He followed her into an office that smelled faintly of sanitizer and peppermint. Dr. Forrester, a sturdy man with silver hair and kind eyes, looked up from his tablet. Chris Combs. Been waiting to talk to you again, the doctor said. Chris sat down, his palms sweating. Doc, I think I'm ready. For surgery. The words came out shaky, but once they left his mouth, he felt something loosen in his chest, like he'd finally taken a breath he'd been holding for years. Dr. Forrester nodded. Let's talk about why. Chris blinked. Why? Everything in his life felt like a reason. My daughter wants me to walk her down the aisle someday, he began slowly. I want to play with my grandson without needing to sit down every 5 minutes. I'm tired of pretending I'm fine. I want to live, not just be alive. The doctor listened, jotting notes. You've been through a lot, and this isn't an easy choice. But it is a brave one. Chris swallowed hard. Brave. He didn't feel brave. He felt scared, terrified, but also hopeful. Do you think I can do it? I think, he asked Dr. Forrester said, that you've already started, facing his fears. The rest of the appointment blurred into a mix of instructions, medical jargon, and next steps. But the real moment, the one that stuck, came when the doctor asked him a simple question. Chris, what are you most afraid of? Chris didn't have to think long. Failing, he answered. Failing like before. Failing myself. Failing my family. Dr. Forrester leaned forward. You are not failing. You are fighting. And fights take time. When Chris walked out of the office, he had a surgery date, a folder of information, and a swirl of emotions that made him feel lightheaded. He sat in his truck, staring at the paper in his hands. Gastric sleeve consultation complete. Surgery. Pending final approval. It was happening. He was really doing this. Telling the family. That night, the Combs house buzzed with the usual chaos. Dinner boiling over on the stove, the kids shouting over a video game, Brittany juggling a laundry basket and a phone call. Chris stood in the doorway, watching life unfold around him. This was why he needed to change. When Brittany finally settled onto the couch, he sat beside her. Babe, he started. She glanced at him. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I talked to the doctor today. Her eyebrows lifted. About your breathing? Or? He shook his head. Weight loss surgery. Brittany froze. For a moment she didn't speak. Then her eyes softened, deep, emotional, shimmering the way they did when she was trying not to cry. Chris, are you sure? He nodded. Yeah, I need this. For me. For us. She grabbed his hand, squeezing it tightly. I'm proud of you. And I'm with you every step. Those words hit him harder than he expected. He hadn't realized how much he needed to hear them. The news spreads. When he told Amy and Tammy, their reaction surprised him. Amy burst into tears. Chris, I'm so proud of you. Finally you're doing something for yourself. Tammy hugged him tight. It's your turn now. We all had our chance. Now it's yours. For the first time in a long time, Chris didn't feel like the caretaker of the family. He felt like someone worth taking care of. The night before the decision. Later, lying in bed with the house dark and quiet, Chris stared at the ceiling. He felt fear flicker inside him again, but this time it wasn't choking him. It was just a reminder that he was human. He whispered into the darkness. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna change my life. And for once, he believed himself. A new chapter begins. The next morning, he woke up with the sun on his face and a strange feeling. Something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. Whether the road ahead was smooth or rocky didn't matter. What mattered was that he'd taken the first step. Chris Combs was finally choosing himself, choosing life, choosing a future he could be proud of. And that decision? It weighed more than anything he'd ever carried. But it also made him feel lighter than he'd felt in a very long time.